Hey everyone, happy Monday, October 14th, 2024. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In this video, we're going to be talking about unseasonably cool temperatures now for the eastern US and then some warmer temperatures out west for a time. We're also tracking a couple of tropical systems that may develop later this week and into this upcoming weekend that could lead to interest along the United States for any landfall. We'll keep you updated on that. Right now this morning, we are seeing some cooler temperatures that have started off into the 20s and 30s, and we're seeing that across the upper Midwest and the northern plains. This did lead to some freezes and some frost this morning, and look at those temperature anomalies across eastern Canada and the eastern US here, especially along the Great Lakes region, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley up into the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. A lot of these areas are 20, 30 degrees below the norm for this time of year. And then you look out west, western Canada, the western United States, we're seeing temperatures 30, 35 degrees above the norm for this time of year. Here are your high temperatures expected this afternoon, and it's going to be hard pressed to get above the 40s and 50s into those areas of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast. Same thing over here in eastern Canada, especially for Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. And then warmer 70s, 80s, and some 90s mixed in further off to the west for the Rockies, the West Coast, and then down along the Gulf Coast this afternoon. Precipitation trends for today, pretty quiet across most of the lower 48, and then that is the United States, and you can see pretty dry weather, lots of sunshine here, that high pressure system and firm control across the middle of the country. Some sporadic showers and unsettled weather across the portions of the Great Lakes, but more so into the Northeast. So if you live in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, even upstate New York, Massachusetts, could be seeing some unsettled weather this afternoon, and then that'll move out and you'll be drying out in those areas as we go into tonight. And cool high pressure, yeah, tonight those temperatures are really going to be dropping quickly across the Great Lakes region as we see those clear skies and lighter winds. And going through the next 24 hours or so, we could be seeing a quarter to half an inch of rainfall across those areas of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York. That could lead its way back further west toward Lake Erie, northwest Pennsylvania, maybe a couple showers there into the Badger State of Wisconsin, down toward Lake Michigan. Other than that, a lot of white here. That means we have a lot of dry weather expected, with not really any rainfall in the forecast over the next 24 hours. Snowfall amounts are going to be few and far between. We see maybe some snowfall up there into Alaska, into Yukon, into northwest British Columbia, maybe some snowfall there over into Quebec and even upstate New York. But other than that, really not seeing much in the way of snowfall of note. Going through the rest of the week, this is Tuesday, October 15th. That's tomorrow. Going through Friday, October 18th, later in the week. High pressure and firm control up here across Quebec and Ontario, and that will extend down into the Great Plains. We have a trough across the East Coast, another significant trough across Western Canada and the West Coast of the United States. What that's going to do is the coastlines are going to be a lot cooler than normal. So as we go through the rest of the week, leaning below normal with our temperatures from Alaska down through Yukon, British Columbia, down through the west coast of the United States, all the way south to California. Even the Baja of California down here, pretty cool as well. In the middle, we have the high pressure, so lots of sunshine, therefore drier ground, so we're going to warm up faster across these areas. Southern Canada into the central U.S., that's the Great Plains. And then the trough out east is going to remain, below normal, so a lot of cooler air, the coldest air of the season likely thus far for the eastern U.S. And this has prompted some alerts, weather alerts here. We have some freeze watches here in the lighter blue, stretching from parts of Pennsylvania over here into northwestern Illinois, much of central and eastern Iowa, into northwest Missouri, into southeastern Nebraska, into central and eastern portions of Kansas. That's where we could have those hard freezes over the next couple of mornings. And then in this purple shaded color, those are freeze warnings up here into the Dakotas, into the Black Hills region, into western portions of Minnesota, even western lower Michigan under those freeze warnings as well. And those could expand in the coming days Here's a look at your Tuesday morning waking up. Yeah, you're going to need the jackets up here in the upper Midwest. Temperatures starting off in the middle and upper 20s, becoming a lot more widespread. Check this out, folks. Wednesday morning, yeah, we could be starting at 29 in Tulsa, 34 in Oklahoma City, and 51 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely going to need your jackets down there. Then as we go into Thursday morning, still pretty chilly, waking up at 36 in Tulsa, 38 into the St. Louis region, 38 in Chicago, and 35 into the Indianapolis area Thursday morning. Then on Friday morning, we start to moderate those temperatures more across the middle of the country, waking up into the 40s and 50s out there. A little bit cooler though for the mid-Atlantic, could be waking up in the mid and upper 30s, especially in those higher elevations of the Appalachians. On the other side of the coin, here's your high temperatures through the rest of the week. Tuesday afternoon, again, we're going to start off cool, so we're going to end up cool in the afternoon. Some of these areas will stay into the 40s for highs during the afternoons, including Chicago on the lakefront, 47, chilly there Tuesday afternoon, 46 in Green Bay and 46 in Detroit. Wednesday afternoon, a tad bit warmer, 54 there in Chicago, 58 in St. Louis, 52 in Indianapolis, and 47 there into the Cincinnati region. See the warmer air further off to the west. Thursday, the warmer air starts to move a little bit further east. That means the Pacific Northwest will start to cool down in Western Canada. So areas over here into the Boise, Idaho region could be in the 40s. Denver at 70 there, warming up a little bit. 65 in Rapid City, and then 60 over here in Chicago Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, we're kind of flipping the script here. We got warmer air further east, now cooler air further west. So areas in Chicago at 63, 67 in St. Louis, 63 in Atlanta, and 76 over here in Tyler, Texas. And then further off to the west here into Seattle, 51, down into the Portland area, 52, and even down here into San Diego, 73 for Friday afternoon. Here's your precipitation going through the rest of the week. This is from tomorrow, Tuesday, October 15th through Friday, October 18th. Pretty dry across the central and eastern U.S., up here as well into eastern Canada, into Ontario and Quebec, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and then further off to the west into western Canada. So British Columbia, Yukon, Northwest Territories, into Alberta and Saskatchewan going to be wetter. And then across the western U.S., the Rockies and the West Coast going to trend wetter through the rest of the week here. So going through Tuesday, pretty dry. Again, we have a system up here into eastern Canada that could draw in some moisture across the eastern parts of the Canadian provinces and eastern United States. Then as we go into Wednesday, pretty hefty storm system across portions of the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. That could bring some heavier snows to British Columbia on Wednesday in those colder areas and the higher elevations. Colder rains across the Pacific Northwest. And then as we go into Thursday, higher elevation snows for like the Cascades, the Northern Rockies, and then Friday, a lot of the Rockies starting to see their first real big snows of the season going into your Friday. Precipitation amounts through the rest of the week. You can see the heaviest up here into the western coastlines of British Columbia, but also back across Seattle, Portland, and down into the central Rockies. And, you know, we need the rainfall here in the United States. We can take it. We have moderate, severe, and extreme drought really ongoing across a large chunk of the central and the western U.S. And looking at the areas that are probably more inclined to see the drought expanding and intensifying here the rest of this month of October will be across the Great Plains, as we're really seeing a lack of moisture in these areas. Let's take a look at this, the snow and ice cover here across North America, really up toward the Arctic here in Siberia and Alaska and northwestern Canada. We're seeing a lack of it right now compared to what we should be this time of year, so it's kind of running slightly below normal. We're going to be adding on to that foundation. So what we haven't seen, we will start to see as we go through the week, and that's snowfall across British Columbia, western coastlines there, all the way down to Vancouver, and those higher elevations could be seeing well over 40, 50 inches of snow, even a few inches to several inches of snow in those higher elevations of the Rockies, into parts of Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and Montana going through the rest of the week. Let's turn now over to the tropical weather update to end the video, because there are some interesting updates here to talk about. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is highlighting a 50% chance, a flip of a coin, if you will, of a system developing from the main development region over here as far west as Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the northern Windward Islands. over the next 7 days. Now, if you look at the mid-level water vapor imagery here, you can see it doesn't look like much right now in the main development region. It's a very small wave as it moves further to the west, closer to the Windward Islands over the next several days, but it's moving into an area that is more thermodynamically favored for development here in the tropics. Very warm sea surface temperatures here, and let's look at the ensemble. So this is the European ensemble guidance for this coming Friday on October 18th. A couple of areas to watch, one over here towards Central America, and then one over here just to the north of the Windward Islands. And watch as those kind of move to the west. We could have something trying to develop near the Yucatan on Sunday, and then another system trying to develop somewhere around Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the Windward Islands. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Looking at the GFS ensemble guidance for Friday, you can see it kind of latching on more to that area near the Western Caribbean and the Yucatan, and not really as much latching on to that system that the European model is showing near the Windward Islands as much. And it moves a stronger system from the Western Caribbean into the Eastern Gulf as we go into Sunday on the GFS model. And looking at the CMC, the ensemble guidance to the Canadian guidance, you can see this is still the same thing. Western portions of the Caribbean and moving up into portions of the Eastern Gulf of Mexico by Sunday. So we are continuing to watch this very closely. There could be one, maybe even two systems to watch. One over here toward the Yucatan, and then one over here towards Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and even the northern Windward Islands. We'll keep a very close eye on that over the next several days. So make sure to subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already for the latest weather information right at your fingertips here. And whether it's a video or a live stream, turn on all post notifications. Just hit the bell icon for that so you are notified when I do a video or a live stream. Make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It's much appreciated, especially if you did like today's weather forecast. And don't forget, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Monday out there.